This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about. Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
Welcome to Daily Blast Live. It's Thursday, January 23rd. I'm here with Al, Brandon, Lindsay, and I'm Tori. Let's get right to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that. Al said I looked Amish, but I think I look cute.
I like it.
Okay.
I take it back.
Okay, thanks. We do have a quick update on day 3 of the impeachment trial. We're trying to keep you guys informed as what's going on of the President of the United States. So House managers began to lay out their case against Trump yesterday, saying he was trying to cheat in the election by asking a foreign government to help with his re-election. The president, meanwhile, was furiously tweeting. He broke his own Twitter record yesterday. Get this, posting or reposting 142 messages in one day. That is his most ever. We will continue to monitor everything that happens today, and of course, we will update you with anything that's breaking. The big news really is that the Democrats are laying out what they think is very obvious, and the Republicans seem to just, it doesn't seem to bother or care. They don't seem to care.
Yeah, I think I read a Daily Mail headline that said, is anything new happening? So it's the same case that we've been hearing. I think after today is the third day of back and forth, then we'll finally see some movement forward. So
yeah, and if we have witnesses too, because I would like John Bolton.
I have something that's pretty exciting about it. There's a journalist that was watching and observing from the little press gallery, watching the chamber floor, and he said that Senator Rand Paul had been covering up playing a crossword puzzle.
I heard that too.
Someone else fell asleep. So got a lot of movement going on.
There you go. Crossword puzzles and falling asleep.
And I hear people are kind of going to the bathroom when they shouldn't be. So it's important. This isn't like a joke. We're taking the president either in or out of office. That's sort of a major
But we have to get past the small stuff now to see what the rules are going to be, what witnesses are going to show up, and then we can actually get it started.
Yes, I agree. Although I don't think it's small stuff, but let's hear what you guys think. Well, people are really starting to freak out over the spread of the mysterious coronavirus. We spoke about this yesterday. China has now locked down 3 cities to curb the spread of the deadly virus that has killed at least 17 people and infected more than 600 worldwide. Meantime, the virus, which is described as pneumonia-like, is reportedly spread more easily from person to person than previously thought. That's great. And the man in Washington state who developed the first case in the U.S. flew from China and had at least 16 close contacts before he was placed in isolation, according to officials. So take a look.
The patient is a male in his 30s. He is still under observation at Providence Regional Medical Center in Everett. He's been very cooperative with our continued investigation.
The outbreak continues to spread, with 4 people in Scotland now being tested for the suspected illness. Al, I got to tell you this. They closed down Wuhan, which was the ground zero of the virus, from a seafood market. Wuhan has 11 million people in it. They are not allowed to leave or come. I mean, it's just like you're in a bubble. 3 cities like this now been closed off.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's the problem when you start having these dense populations with people like literally living on top of each other, below and to the side of each other. This is how things like that spread. And I mean, hopefully, like I said, the CDC's got a great record of kind of quarantining and containing these viruses and getting on them quickly. But the fact they're closing 3 major cities has to be cause for some kind of alarm.
Yeah, I think we're in the early stages of a global health
epidemic,
crisis.
yeah.
I think this is going to be bigger because, like you said, three cities in central China, and there was a official for the World Health Organization said trying to contain 11 million people is a new science.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So now you have 3 cities like that.
Yeah.
Now it's made its way over to the United States, not only in Seattle, but they have a family that flew into LAX from Mexico City that's quarantined right now.
Oh.
So this is getting scary, and it's something that I see we're going to see Denver in no time.
Yeah, I do want to let you know that Wuhan is the ground zero, that town. They found out on December 8th that they had a virus, right? They still held a dinner for 40,000 people to beat the world record of most dishes served in one night, knowing that they had the virus. And then they announced it the next day.
And we're going to find out later today by the World Health Organization whether this is considered a global emergency, which is really scary. I thought about being trapped in Denver or any city and saying you can't leave during a time, especially when everybody's celebrating and traveling. Think about it as our Christmas or New Year's. So a lot of people are probably going through their own emotions, but it is really scary and something we have to take seriously.
Yeah, so again, flu-like symptoms, pneumonia-like symptoms, make sure you check in. If you have a fever at the airport, make sure you do tell someone. Well, moving on to this story that just has more and more legs, the ousted head of the Grammy organization, she's dropping some new bombshells. So you remember Deborah Dugan. She's filing a lawsuit against the organization, claiming the voting and nomination process is rigged. Dugan said in a court filing that one artist who initially ranked 18 out of 20 in the 2019 Song of the Year category ended up with a nomination. This artist was actually permitted to sit on the Song of the Year nomination committee. Incredibly, this artist is also represented by a member of the board. So Dugan was asked about it on Good Morning America this morning. Here's what she said about the identity of that artist.
I don't, for the artist's privacy and for the integrity of all those artists that are going to perform and get nominations this year, I don't want to say, but it's not even just that one room. I have evidence that in another room, because there were complaints made in the jazz category, and
so you do have evidence. That was going to be my follow-up question.
I do.
And where are you going to present that?
I have a claim that I filed.
Wow, evidence. The Recording Academy released a statement raising questions about the timing of Ms. Dugan's complaint, and members of the executive committee said in part, "We stand ready to address all concerns, allegations, and accusations with facts in hand." Seems like she's got some facts in hand with some evidence. Emails, possibly text messages, voicemails. What do you think, Linz?
I think that we're all starting to see that the Grammys may become culturally irrelevant because we're seeing this and we see artists go up there all the time, from Jay-Z, who 2018 had 8 nods and went home with nothing. It's not the barometer anymore that it used to be for saying what our favorite art is of the year, when some artists have gone on to win a Pulitzer Prize, like Kendrick Lamar, who didn't win a Grammy that same year. So the board, we have to remember, is 70% white approximately and male. And so these people have to either change their standards or be met with the majority of artists who know that this is wrong and going to stand up and say, just like Jay-Z has in the past, I'm not attending this and I'm not using this as a meter for my success.
And that board you're talking about, she accuses of putting their own financial interests above the Academy's mission. And Al, I want to talk to you. Does this really shock you? Because it's, like she said, the board has the percentage of white males or whatever, but they're still humans. People are going to put their financial interests first. They're going to put their emotions first.
But aren't there rules in place so that, like, the artist isn't on the committee that's nominating her?
That would be a rule
song?
that you would think would be, that would be the only rule I would think that you would have. But yeah, it's strange what you, as you know, we progress and technology allows us to see behind the curtain of any enterprise, whether it's the IOC or the Westminster Dog Show. You find that there's human beings, and I know you don't want to hear that, but you find that they're human beings, and human beings are going to make decisions based on their own personal interests and our own inherent biases that we all have. So you compound that by putting an artist that's up for a nomination on the board of who's picking the song.
Come on, right?
I would just sit there humming my own song.
I love this jam.
It's definitely a conflict of interest, and I have friends that have been on boards of Emmys locally, and so they say they can't even judge in their own region because obviously you come in contact with these people. So I would think the Grammys would apply those rules however they can. Somebody who's just has a good taste in music and maybe not associated with these people.
Sitting there like, play that new Al Jackson track.
Just so you guys know, it's either Kendrick Lamar, Ella May, Drake, Shawn Mendes, Brandy Carlisle, Maren Morris, Lady Gaga, or Childish Gambino. One of those artists was 18 out of 20 and somehow managed to get themselves nominated. So we'll leave that up to you to speculate. Today we are remembering, oh my gosh, this is hard, Mr. Peanut. The 104-year-old mascot of the Planters Snack Food Company. They made the announcement yesterday, but now footage of his death has been released. A warning to our viewers, this content is graphic and may be disturbing to some.
We're too heavy. Matt, let go. No, you let go. Hey, Mr. Peanut, no, you don't. Don't do it, Mr. Peanut. No. Maybe he'll be all right. Maybe not.
What? So anyway, I've always said my father reminds me of Mr. Peanut because he one time walked with a cane and glasses and a tux at my wedding, and I'm like, that is Mr. Peanut. Is he turning into peanut butter? This is going to be a Super Bowl ad, just so you know. We'll find out more information. Did he just die?
That was super weird. I think that's going to be a Super Bowl fail. I'm lost about what.
We're talking about it, though. And when's the last time you talked about peanuts besides, is this the only thing that you have to eat?
Well, Al told me earlier if I had peanuts at my Super Bowl party, he wouldn't attend.
I said
that's the worst snack.
I forgot we're having a party. Peanuts and pretzels. Pretzels are horrendous.
No,
I wouldn't throw those at a friend.
People eat peanuts, though.
Pretzels are disgusting.
Well, I love pretzels, but peanuts I can't.
Salty sticks of what?
Bread. That's right.
Who wants that?
Do you like bread?
Nobody likes.
I love pretzels. I disagree.
Show me the your
a photo of me eating a pretzel. I don't have that.
No, show me your account where you've purchased pretzels.
Okay, that's
pretzels get into your possession by accident.
Did you know that
or on a flight?
Peanuts are part of the legume family?
No, I didn't.
No one's going to bring up Wesley
cares.
Snipes.
DBL is live and coming up. A woman's murder has baffled investigators for 30 years, but could new clues point them in the right direction? You do not want to miss today's True Crime Chronicles. And you, the viewer, are our fifth host. Some Washington state residents will use their smartphones to vote. Is it a good idea or a risky choice? Your comments coming up next.
Hi, DBL Nation. I believe Tori meant the legume family, not the I don't know what she said, but I think it's legume. Let's go to the desk because they're laughing over there and I want to know what they're chatting about.
Well, don't they dress a certain way?
I think I look cute as though Amish.
Yeah, you said.
Well, I think Amish people aren't dressing cute on purpose.
You said but.
Well, I think that's true. Amish people wear very.
I don't really.
They can be cute.
No, they wear, what do you call this? Conservative clothes on purpose for their beliefs. So I think you wouldn't call Amish people's outfits cute. Is that bad? I don't think that's bad.
No, just next time say, but I like it. Just say, but I like it.
To all our Amish viewers, I am so very sorry.
Getting in trouble today,
I'm so sorry. But I love your fireplaces.
I love
They're
peanuts,
wonderful.
by the way.
You like
You
peanuts?
do?
I love peanuts.
Do you like
I'm
boiled
allergic.
or
They're
just regular?
just a handful of salt.
I don't care for them.
I'm allergic.
The honey roasted ones are really good.
No.
Honey roasted. I'm an almonds guy now. I'm an almonds
almond
guy.
joy?
I'm eating regular almonds right now.
Thank you.
Yeah, almonds are different than
Pistachios are having a moment.
But then
It's like kale 2 years
you
ago.
like the habanero barbecue, you don't like the actual nut. You like the stuff it's on.
Yeah. Because I lick my finger and then put it in the fridge and then lick it after.
So
What are you talking about?
If you're listening, get your mind out the gutter and pass the almond butter.
My mind wasn't in the gutter.
Okay. Just making
No, I wanted to know what you're looking at in the peanuts.
At the package,
Oh,
you
you
know,
like
at
the
the
sauce
end.
and the, oh, I
Yeah.
don't know it. I'm allergic. I don't know. I don't
No,
know.
almonds.
Oh my God, someone
I
just
can't
wrote
eat
us,
almonds.
guys.
I can't eat pecans.
John
I
Venturi
can't eat
says,
Really?
These are the best.
John Venturi says, don't be talking smack about pretzels unless you want the Amish mafia.
I know, it does stink. I tried to eat pistachios one time because I was like, maybe I'm not allergic to those.
No peanut butter.
Pistachios are so good.
Creamy peanut butter?
Yes, they are. I can't eat that.
Pistachios are
down. So
Yeah.
if it's like
They're like little pockets of fun.
Your palate is questionable now.
I just don't. I'm not saying that they're I'm just saying like I would never actively select them. If I'm on a flight and somebody gives me pretzels, I'm like okay.
No,
but I would
Maple
never be like,
Wafers
you know
are
what? I
where
want
it's
a bag of rock hard bread with
waffles?
salt on it.
Biscoff.
It's a very strange snack.
I would prefer
Do you like
I know Maple
pretzels?
Wafers still, but the big
Do you like pretzels covered in things?
Yes.
That's fine.
Our boss Bert bought in pretzels covered with chocolate, and they were devoured
I
within
love
like
those.
an hour.
That was me.
So you like
I
pretzels?
That's
didn't
a
get any
sweet and
pretzels
salty
covered with
combo.
chocolate bird.
Welcome back to DBL. We're still talking pretzels up here. It's time for Fifth Host when we talk about what you're talking about. Could voting on your smartphone be the wave of the future? So people who live in King County, Washington, which includes Seattle, will become the first to use their phones to cast a ballot. The plan is to test it out in an upcoming local election. Now, supporters say it could increase turnout, but opponents argue it is not secure enough. DBL Nation, do you think voting via smartphone is a good or bad idea? Lindsay, just so you know, they will have to use their name and birth date, and they have to verify their submissions and then submit a signature on the touch screen of their device.
Okay, Tracy says this is so stupid. We should always favor security over convenience. And Tracy, I'm gonna have to agree. I think if some of the biggest tech CEOs can't even keep their phones safe, Jeff Bezos this week got hacked. He's the CEO of Amazon. I think that I'm gonna say no for this one.
All right. Bob says, I say go for it. It could get more millennials to participate. Yeah, I think we make it into an option. You know, some places you can do paper ballots, and if you opt for it, then there has to be rules like facial recognition when you sign in for your name when it's time for you to vote. But I think it'll be something. I think it's it's edgy. And if you don't have to worry about being hacked, if you have LifeLock.
Oh, God.
There we go.
There we go.
All right. Mike says, I can't think of a worse idea. I have too many security concerns to even name.
He needs LifeLock.
Mike, I would say that, but like if you go to actually vote, when you see like the crack staff working in some of these voting booths, I think those can be infiltrated as well. I've seen documentaries.
That's not nice.
They're
Have you
Usually it's
seen how
volunteers,
old?
like elderly people?
No, no, I'm talking about the equipment. Just the equipment there is very archaic. They showed, I believe it was some documentary where they showed the Great Hack. They showed that they could, the woman, she hacked into a voting booth in I think 4 minutes. So I mean, look, security is anywhere you go.
I appreciate anything handwritten, a good slice of paper. I'm old school.
You're from 1801.
You really?
Sasha says, why not? I already file my taxes and do all my banking online. We should be able to vote online, too.
That's interesting.
No. This is exactly what the Russians want. It's exactly what the Saudis want. If you didn't know, Jeff Bezos, as you said, he owns the Washington Post, or part of it. He owns a CEO of Amazon. He was hacked by Saudis, okay, over the weekend. That man has more security than we'll ever dream of, okay? So in no way, shape, or form do I think this is a good idea. Do I think it's a good idea to have a national holiday to allow people off work to vote? Yes.
Amen.
Get rid of Columbus Day. He's fine. Coming up on DBL, seeking justice for Jane Doe, how a new lead in an unsolved murder could lead to answers in today's True Crime Chronicles.
voting booth.
Do you guys remember the Chads? Remember this?
Come on.
The Chads, to see if the Chads were going down or not. Chad Gate. The hanging Chad.
That was a huge deal. I was like, oh, what?
He used to punch through, but now
Right.
it just puts like a black dot on it.
Yeah. I still get, to be super honest, a little confused.
Really?
In the beginning, I get panicky.
What if your phone gets messed up? Like, what if your phone
But then
crashes in the middle?
that means you have to go in there.
I'm not worried about banking on my phone. And what if a lot of people?
Well, you are $100,000 insured with your bank.
What if a
Both
lot of
not
people say
insured.
I don't have a smartphone? That's what I was thinking.
But, like,
what if
Russians
your
are
phone doesn't have
interested
that kind
in
of
the voting, not your
capability?
There has to be rules. You have to have rules set up for it. Then, if you don't, if your type of phone, facial recognition and login type of things, if they don't meet a certain criteria, then you have to.
You know
go
how
and-
Russians got us on
That's
facial
also
recognition,
people
though.
who don't have the same opportunities, the same way that
But this-
gerrymandering would. If you say you don't have a good phone that has good security
But
on
this
it, a
is
lot of people don't.
introducing something new. You have to introduce it bit by bit. You can't just be like, everybody with a phone go vote. You got to introduce it
But
bit
do you
by bit.
understand the scandal that would happen if it was proven that everybody's phones were hacked and like voting, the presidential election was I mean, people already know it was affected last time, but like that would be a huge.
And do you know that iPhone,
huge.
like, they're about to make iPhone 12, let's say next, so then they're going to stop servicing 7.
Here we go. 3, 2.
Want more joy in your life? Shop to it.
Welcome back to DBL. 30 years ago, a woman was found murdered in rural Kentucky. Her face was missing, making the case nearly impossible to crack. But now a new lead is bringing renewed hope. We have an update in DBL's True Crime Chronicles.
Near Corinth, Kentucky, lies a small rural town made up of less than 300 people. For a place where everyone knows each other, there's one thing everyone can't seem to figure out.
Every time you close your eyes, you see that raising up in front of you. And it was just a horrible feeling.
It was May 1988. Joy Kelly and her husband spot what they thought was an animal hidden between brush on a rural road.
I said, I don't think it's a goat.
She would be right, but it was nearly impossible to identify who the person was.
The face was missing.
Parts of the body was missing. The left arm from the elbow down was gone.
All police could determine was it was a female and that her naked body had been lying there for days.
The thing I remember most, and I mentioned to the detective, wearing nothing but men's socks, and they were pulled up perfectly, brown socks.
After sitting in the case files for decades, Kentucky State Police are taking another look.
I'm Detective Andre Samu with the Kentucky State Police, looking into an unsolved murder case from 1988.
Police are calling her Jane Doe, and the clues left behind in her case are offering new hope.
The right hand still existed, but there was certain portions of the fingers that were still intact, that we were able to get a fingerprint.
They're using that DNA on new technology to get new leads.
You know that this person had family somewhere.
30 years, somebody's missing somebody.
Forensic experts used her bones to build this composite of Jane Doe, hoping someone might recognize her. Because without her name, it's nearly impossible to find her killer.
Earlier, we spoke with the investigative reporter following this case. Let's take a look. We're joined by investigative journalist Shay McAllister from WHAS 11 in Louisville, Kentucky. Thank you for joining us. Police have not been able to identify this woman for 30 years. And finally, last week, they announced a new incredible lead. What did investigators tell you?
So we just learned last week that this Jane Doe may have ties to Columbus, Ohio, or Miami, Florida. And why this is so big is because this widens the search for anyone who may have seen her or known her outside of Kentucky, where her body was found.
This case broke in 1988 and quickly went cold. So why did investigators take so long to tackle this?
Well, by the time Jane Doe's body was found on the side of this rural highway, parts of it were missing, including one of her arms and parts of her face. So it was hard to see who she was, what she might have looked like. Eventually, new technology made it possible for them to create a composite so that people can see this picture and see if she's someone who may be familiar.
Wow.
Now, you mentioned police believe she has ties to Columbus, Ohio, or Miami, Florida. How are police able to make that conclusion with such little evidence?
Well, like so much with an open investigation, they wouldn't tell us exactly what it was that led them to believe that she had those ties. However, we know last year they received some new grant money to do DNA testing. So maybe there was a breakthrough in some DNA testing to someone in those regions.
That's amazing. Shay, thank you for keeping the story alive. We want closure for this, and it takes people like you to give us that closure. Thank you, Shay. To read more on the case, please visit WHAS11.com or their Facebook page. We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by...
What's up, Beauty Blast? I'm Jeray for the Slay, and today we're talking a little beauty tea gossip. Now, a lot has been going on in the beauty world lately, but one new collaboration is setting a new record for everybody, all right? Drybar and IT Cosmetics has collabed together for a brand new product launch coming August 1st. Now, can you guess what it is? Now let's think about this. They're both cosmetic companies. Drybar does hair, IT Cosmetics does skin and makeup. What could they do in common? Oh yeah, lashes. Lashes have hair, right? And we use them in makeup as well, so it kind of makes sense. Guess what? It is a mascara that they're making for us, guys. This mascara looks like it's out of this world, and it actually combines two great features from both companies. Now, IT Cosmetics came into play and actually gave those great killer ingredients that it's so well known for. Biotin, collagen, and hyaluronic acid too, all to help hydrate and lift those beautiful lashes and keep them looking pretty. Drybar came in and said, let's make it look just like what everyone wants. Let's give them what they want, let's say that. Volume, guys. They actually took the idea from their volume-based hair products and they actually created this little mascara brush that looks just like their round brush. Crazy, right? Now, it even went as far as to having little yellow balls on the tips of the brush to actually separate and define the lashes, which I was like, okay, y'all might be trying it a little bit too much. Now, with this mascara, it actually is going to be having an amazing finish and it's supposed to give you that beautiful lift and curl. So we're gonna try it out and see just how it does very soon here. Now, it launches on August 1st, so hopefully we get it once it gets into a retail store right away. So, for more beauty gossip, make sure you check out more Beauty Blast and check out my social media platforms at Jeray for the Slay. We'll see you guys next time.
Doctors could soon have a new way to figure out if you have the flu, your Fitbit. So, how does it work? Let's connect the dots. Doctors have known for a while that when your resting heart rate increases, it's a sign that your immune system is gearing up for a fight. But since your doctor usually doesn't have a record of what your average resting heart rate is, the information can't really be used to find the flu. So in a new study, researchers approached Fitbit to see if the company had that kind of information. Fitbit handed over the health data of 200,000 users, stripped of any identifying details. The researchers looked for people with elevated heart rates who were sleeping more, since fighting the flu often means you need more rest. Then they compared their results to CDC data on flu cases in that state. The numbers were a pretty close match. And while your Fitbit might be able to warn you in the future that you are getting sick, you would still need to go to the doctor for an actual diagnosis. But the early warning could help people start treating their illness earlier.
Denise Plant with today's Deal Blast. Sharon Osbourne Home 3-piece quilted coverlet set. It's machine washable and hypoallergenic. Normally as much as $130, today only $39 with a savings up to 70% off. The SoundBot Bluetooth wireless speaker. Wireless HD loudspeaker for music and hands-free talking. Shock and water resistant. Normally as much as $60, today $15, savings up to 75% off. Emerald 6-piece knife set with 4 cutting mats. Non-stick cutting mats for poultry, fish, meat, and vegetables. Normally as high as $90, today $29 with a savings up to 68% off. And the Laterre Fashion 2-piece leopard print handbag set. Vegan leather body with trendy leopard print. Normally as much as $139, today only $39 with a savings up to 72% off. And check out morningsave.com, hit Daily Blast Live for today's deals.
I need one of those bags today. You can tell my bag is falling apart and it reflects poorly on me.
Tori?
I need that speaker.
No, the
Blast the
knife
music.
set. I have the knife set. It just takes your chop, 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 chop game to another level.
I gotta learn how to do that, like the proper
I also
chop.
want to do that. I pretend to do that and then hurt myself.
I just take like a very slow.
Yeah,
okay,
it's not
that's
As long as you don't cut- I've heard good things about those knives.
Yeah.
I don't know, Jeff Schroeder swears by them.
Yeah.
So, yeah, maybe the knife set's the way to go.
I also need to find a knife sharpener, so maybe I need a new, but I don't know how to sharpen my knives. I do this and just pretend to know what I'm doing.
YouTube.
Okay.
Yeah, they've
I
got
could
everything
try-
on there.
I could try that as well. You have some comments?
Yeah, well, I also want to give a shout out to my dad. Today's his birthday.
Yeah.
I can't say how old he's turning.
The original Shaft.
Yeah, he calls my dad Shaft.
His name is Gary?
Yes, Gary
Happy
Granger. So happy birthday,
Gary.
Dad.
Happy birthday.
And then we want to go back to this pretzel thing. So one commenter says that chocolate-covered pretzels are the same thing as pretzels.
No.
Do you? Yeah, like if you don't, you say you don't like pretzels, but chocolate-covered, you
I'm
like
not
them?
saying I don't like pretzels. I'm saying they're not a good snack without chocolate dumped all over them.
Are
Chocolate
waffles
helps.
good
You
in
could
pancakes
cover a
without
napkin
syrup?
in chocolate and eat it.
Oh.
So it's like hot sauce. It's a masking agent.
Do you put syrup on your pancakes and waffles?
I don't like pancakes and waffles.
Me either.
You
I'm not
don't
an
put
8-year-old.
anything on.
I don't like cake in the morning. I'm sorry. I'm a grown-up.
We'll see you same time, same place tomorrow. We're going to continue this. Be good to each other.
Who wants cake?
We do. We all want.